my last response to the Hebrew Israelites who posted a video on my page trying to tell me I'm a misguided youth and I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Everybody, if you're watching this, go pull up a map on Google and search Israel. See where Israel was at. It should be directly next to Egypt, which is Northeast Africa. Now, Israelites, you're arguing that black people are Hebrews due to the last continent, which keeps you from today and going back about 6,000, let's just say approximately somewhere 6,000 years. So you want me to confide myself mentally to something that only acknowledges a 6,000 year period of my history, when it is a fact that black people have been on the planet for millions of years and there was no such thing as even the Hebrew language? What are you talking about? So now, everybody now go research African 200,000, 200,000 year old African civilization discovered. This should be somewhere in South Africa or near South Central Africa. So now do a comparison. Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Hebrew Israelite confined to 6,000 years worth of bibliographic history that the white man has created and somewhere in northeastern Africa, when I have ancestors who had a 200,000 year old preceding civilization nowhere near Northeast Africa but in South Central Africa. Well, maybe I'm one of them instead of a Hebrew Israelite. You ever stop to think? Now, that's for one. For two, to shut your whole shit down, Hebrew Israelites, first of all, y'all keep saying God said this and God said that. I'm going to tell you right now how you're lying to the people, and you never heard God say a motherfucking thing. How? Because phenomena, right, is anything that can be perceived through the 5 physical senses. I said 5 physical senses. The 6th sense is the mind. We're dealing with the 5 physical senses, which is taste, touch, sight, sound, smell. Now sound, right? Sound is heard physically through the ears. When when a sound wave travels through the eardrum and it hits the bone, because your bones, once the sound wave hits the bone, it is analyzed and interpreted by the brain, and that is how you hear. It's called bone conduction. So with that being said, you have to be in a physical body to interpret sound through phenomena, in order to interpret phenomena, the specific phenomena, which is sound. You have to be in a physical shell. So therefore, if I'm a human or a dog or an animal, I have one of my 5 senses or phenomena abilities is to interpret sound through bone conduction. Why? Because you can't fucking hear sound unless you're in a physical body which contains bone. Because once the sound hits the bone, the body conducts it and the brain analyzes it and interprets whatever the message is being said. So with that being said, if I'm not in a physical body, I can't fucking hear. You don't believe me? Ask a deaf person why they can't hear. And look up the reasons, before me going into too many details, why the medical reasons why a deaf person can't hear and why their eardrums cannot interpret sound. So with that being said, let's just say I'm not deaf. I would like to think my bone conduction is working exceptionally well. So you mean to tell me a motherfucker spirit that has no physical body told you something? How? With no physical vocal cords to even emit the sound waves that has to even penetrate your ear to hit the bone in order for you to hear. So how did God tell you anything? How did a spirit tell you anything when it doesn't have the physical communicating utility, which is known as a body, to even send or emit the sound waves for your ears to even for the sound wave to even enter your ear and be conducted by the bone for your bone to interpret? How the fuck did God tell you something and it's a spirit? It doesn't have a physical body to communicate to you. So that would mean one of two things. God was a man or a woman who told you something. So stop lying to the people talking about the fucking God said this and his will was this, because he never told you a motherfucking thing. And if he tried to, you wouldn't even be able to interpret the sound wave, fool. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why y'all keep saying God said this and God said that? You never would tell God to call my phone right now. He can't. Because even if he is real, he doesn't have a physical body to communicate to me. Don't believe me? No disrespect. We all got dead grandmothers. Why the fuck they don't never talk to us? Why the fuck our dead relatives don't never say shit? I ain't never got a phone call from a dead relative. Because even if their spirit is floating around here, they don't have a fucking physical body to communicate to me anymore. So even the waves and frequencies that they are emitting to me, I cannot conduct it because it's not being emitted to me on a physical plane. My bone, my ears and the bones in my ears is not getting a sound wave which is being emitted from a vocal cord. So therefore I cannot hear them on a physical realm. But yet you are so fucking amazing that you are able to hear spirits talk to you? Really? Because the last motherfucker I seen say that somebody was talking to him, we went to a crazy house. So what makes y'all so special? So what are you talking about? Once again, God didn't tell you nothing. And then, oh, now let me really get on your ass. Then y'all want to talk about descendants of Shem and descendants of Ham and Abraham and Moses and all this shit. Okay, y'all say that y'all are separate from Africa. Y'all are not Africans, right? Africans are not your brother. So I'm not your brother, even though we share the same genetic structure and makeup and we both are melanated beings. You want to say I'm not your brother. Okay. Boom. Moses. Right? Y'all like Moses. Moses really is a perverted entity who is really supposed to be the Pharaoh Thutmose III. So y'all like Moses. Y'all listen to Moses. But yet Moses was an Egyptian Pharaoh, but you claim to not be an Egyptian, but yet you still unknowingly and ignorantly propagate the falsified story of an Egyptian Pharaoh. Abraham is Pharaoh Akhenaten, another African Egyptian king, but yet you still try to disassociate yourself with Egypt. I can go on to many more characters in the Bible who actually turn out to be pharaohs in Egypt, but I'm going to stop there. So how do you sit here and try to disassociate yourself from Egypt and the African civilization when in fact the same prophets who you propagate are actually undercover pharaoh kings that the white man perverted to create his book? So now, for one, you are ignorantly promoting the white man's agenda. For two, you are ignorantly separating yourself from the rest of your race. And for three, you are trying to get people to confine themselves to 6,000 years worth of perverted history when we have 1,000,000 years worth of history on this planet. Yet alone, like I keep telling people, go Google the 200,000-year-old civilization, which is near South Central Africa, which is not nowhere near Israel. Wasn't no Israelites there, like I said. So y'all talking about I'm not coming with facts. Oh, I'm coming with facts. You're not coming with facts. You trying to get motherfuckers to believe them hocus pocus stories. Oh, I know what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to use the Lord's name to sell pussy on this corner, Israelites. That's what y'all trying to do. But it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Not on duty. Not on duty. And with that being said, get y'all mind right. Because y'all are suffering from some type of psychological mental reality disorder. Peace.